I've had disagreements on this subject with chat before, and I recognize this is a really nuanced topic, and I wouldn't pretend to have the only valid opinion on this topic. But what really frustrates me is when I feel like people don't understand what I'm saying. So even if we have some disagreements, I would ask that you be charitable to my position and you make an effort to understand it, so that if you disagree, it's an informed disagreement. Because I'm taking this quite seriously, and I want to be clear on it. This AI art thing, some people hate it, some people love it. I hate it, but I hate it for reasons that I want to explain. So I want people to reserve their judgment, if possible. Art. What is art? Uh, art. Well, nobody really has a definition. There is something though that I will maintain, and it's that art has to be some kind of communication. There has to be a consciousness on both sides of an exchange of art. Calm it down, please. Please, please. This is all subjective. Please. So, to me, the communication thing matters like a lot. It matters a lot, a lot. It's the difference between a wild stretch of prairie and a well-cultivated garden that just happens to look the same. Chat, please don't distract me. I'm very tired. Please, 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 please. Please, please stop asking questions. I don't care about your opinion on this because I'm giving my opinion. Please don't. Just like, I'm not talking with chat. I'm trying to do this thing. Please. When I look at this, you know what I'm not thinking of? I'm not thinking of the artistry of the universe. I'm thinking of the beauty of the universe. To me, there's a big difference there. I'm not religious. I don't think the universe was constructed for my benefit or with any intention in mind. So when I see this, what am I thinking of? I'm thinking of the beauty of the world, the natural beauty of the world and the universe beyond it. I'm thinking of the incredible technological prowess of our researchers, of our scientists. But I don't think of it as art. Oh God, people, chat, stop asking questions. Shasti, I'll ban you permanently in real life. Stop. Oh my God. You know what? Mods. Mods, just ban them. It's just, if they're adding me, just ban them for an hour. I'm serious. Oh my God. They have no self-control. I'm not here to engage with them. Please, I get distracted easily. Oh my God. I'm gonna get to all the points. I said wait. I said wait. Please. Oh my God. You know how they make these? AI art programs like those make images like those by feeding into them the work of existing artists. And after you've done that enough, you can add some precursors and adjectives, and they can generate in an artist's style what a painting might look like given those conditions. Now, I want you to think about being an artist and having a program like that exist. Sorry, there's a kind of person I need to acknowledge here. The problem that I have when it comes to talking about AI art is that there are subhuman pieces of shit who are so fanatically devoted to the advent of progress that they can't even conceive of something like this being damaging to a medium. They're so married to the idea of any technology that could be developed must necessarily be like valuable, good technology. Like this person, which is really frustrating because obviously, I'm very clearly not ideologically opposed to the development of new technologies and the social change that comes with it. In fact, I tend to be overwhelmingly in favor of it whenever it's, possible to implement. Vaush, it's sounding like you're saying we need to work just for work's sake. New one. Mods permanently ban anyone who disagrees with me. We're going to go that direction. I'm not saying that. The fact that you think that means that you're brain damaged and you need a helper. This chat cannot help you. I cannot help you. As I said, my problem is not people disagreeing, it's misunderstanding what I've said. You could only have said that if you weren't listening. So to move forward, I am generally quite favorable to the social changes that technology brings about. In fact, I think like 99 times out of 100, I'm going to be in favor of that sort of thing. But if you can't imagine what that might do to artistic production from the perspective of artists, you don't have much of an imagination. Is AI art art? I don't really know, but the problems with it aren't inherently related to the question. They're not, even if you said yes, I think you should be able to agree that this is an issue. In fact, I'll be a little bit stronger with my language. even if you think AI art is cool and interesting and so on, which is fine, it is interesting. Even if you're pro AI art in general, if you don't see stuff like this as a problem, I think you're psychopathic. I think you fundamentally relate an ability to understand like human emotions and the way like this impacts the industry. I think you're wrong on that objectively. I think a lot of this stuff is subjective, but I think I'm just right on that. Eventually, they're going to start using this AI art all over the place. You're going to be looking at advertisements that weren't made by humans. You're going to be looking at video game concept art, animations, and 3D models that weren't made by humans. The humans will be doing the coding, they'll be doing the back-end work, but there will be no such thing as an auteur. There won't need to be. Much in the same way that for a long time fashion companies have just been ripping off the designs of auteur creators and shamelessly repackaging it for their own purposes, it'll be like that, but with no possible recourse, because it'll be done completely anonymously. All the stuff that'll be produced by the AIs will be composites of multiple artists, multiple pieces. There will be no way of knowing. We won't be able to tell the difference. We won't even know that we're not being talked to anymore. Do you understand? You will look at a world, you will look down at a city where 1,000 images are staring back at you and not know whether an ounce of human thought went into their production. It is a deeply alienating concept, and if you disagree with me on this, you cannot call yourself a Marxist. I'm drawing another line on this one. You may think that AI art generation has a place in our world, and I agree that it does, because to an extent, digital art already entails the use of algorithms that are basically AI-generated brushes or textures. It's not as though AI is never used in art. We've already been doing it for a while, and I don't think it's inherently wrong. But this specific implementation involves a very dehumanizing, very anti-labor, anti-creativity, anti-life approach towards artistic production, which I think we should be principally opposed to. I think we should be in favor of human connection to artistic production. I cannot even begin to imagine how nightmarish a world would be where human media is indeterminately human, where you have songs that hit the top 40 that not a human worked on, or you'll have movies that had no one except the board of executives work on it. Nothing else. Every voice of a character, a composite of previous voices that have done well in box office results. Every character, a deep fake, a composite of pre-existing ones. This can be extrapolated out infinitely. We have pretty good computer. We have pretty good machine learning these days. It's only going to get better. Before long, within our lifetime, all this will be possible. Machine-written books. Machine-written books. Would you like that? Reading through books and not knowing if a human wrote it or if it's just an incredibly complicated algorithm compositing a ton of passages, events, characters, places, things, themes from other popular books and regurgitating it. Is the book good? It's a trick question. The book cannot be good. It is incapable of being good because the purpose of a book is to be art, and it cannot be art. Now that I've worked myself up, I think I'm going to use some more direct language. So get ready to be called subhuman a bunch, I guess. I think that people who disagree with me on this is what designates the line between people who think of art as communication and art as spectacle and entertainment. And I really do think less of the people in the latter category. I know that COVID has been tough on us, and a lot of you probably don't see many others, and you don't think much of the inherent meaning and worth of another conscious life brushing up against your own. But the world is given so much texture, so much life, literally life, for the experiences and disagreements and agreements and everything that we have, the communication, the eye contact, the everything that we have with other people. It's given meaning. I think so, meaning in a properly philosophical sense. I don't think that it's the same as mere experience and entertainment. Because to go down that road would be to say that there's no difference at all between living midst humans and living in like a holodeck that's indistinguishable. Maybe there are people in my community who believe that, who think that there is no real difference between living a life amidst humans and living a life that is perceptively identical amidst AI generated people who fill all the same roles and do the same stuff. I think anybody who thinks that's the same, I think that's terrifying that you think that. I hope to God you never have the power to pull our world in that direction. I think it's sad as well, like deeply, deeply, deeply sad. I do think that communication is empowered and enriched through the knowledge that there is an exchange of ideas between you and other conscious beings. To reduce that, to say, no, it's not about the exchange, it's not about the contact or the communication, it's just about the raw data that I'm given. This is an anti-humanistic perspective. To reduce this element is to reduce humans to nothing but walking pocket watches or calculators, to reduce us so that we're nothing but an export of noises and of matter and energy, as opposed to what I think we are and what we should treat each other as, which is other consciousnesses. Clearly, there's something interesting behind consciousness. It's kind of the whole way we do things and are able to do things. I think there's something unique and special about it. And if you disagree with me on this, then you should be able to explain to me how it would be as morally correct to murder another real living human being as for you to murder like an AI simulation of another human being. If you really believe that consciousness and interconsciousness communication has no inherent value, then there should be no difference between a human and an AI construct of a human with a force field wrapped around them. If you think there's a moral difference between those two things, then you must cede to my argument. There is something outside of the experiential engagement that is worthwhile. There isn't other than the law. You're inhuman. There's no difference between murdering a holodeck AI and murdering a real human being. You're inhuman. Your techno-fetishism will be the death of all of us. That's an insane extrapolation. How does just liking art for its aesthetics and nothing else make you not care about people's actual feelings? I think you're a sociopath. I hate you. I despise you. I want you to know that. If I see you in person, it's on site. There must be a way to convey this in like a philosophical proof, but I know that I'm right on this, and you all know it too. People who disagree with me on this are acting, rejecting their actual beliefs. You haven't thought it out properly. I refuse to believe that there are people here who sincerely believe that there's no value to art outside of experiential aesthetic. That there's no difference whatsoever between a scribble done by Dali and a scribble done by the errant wind blowing a pencil. That those are exactly the same things with no differences whatsoever. That the intent put into a work has no meaning or bearing. Does intent not matter? Do we not factor intent into our perception of media all the time? If it's AI-generated art, there is no intent anymore. You realize that, right? What about when AI becomes sentient? If it's sentient, then it's conscious. That's totally... No. I'm talking about non-conscious produced art. If AI is sentient, then as far as I'm concerned, that's personhood. So no, yeah. Oh, okay, thank God. I have never said anything to contradict that. I'm talking about a lack of consciousness here. If it's properly sentient, then it would have something I would call consciousness. Maybe a different kind of consciousness. Maybe it'd be different from us. But yeah, no, obviously, if there was an AI and it was properly sentient, then it's communicating with us when it does something. Okay, let me see if I can put this another way. The Suicide Hotline is a phone number you can call if you're sad. Step 1. Imagine if AI algorithms were capable of effectively synthesizing human speech and conversation. They're already getting pretty good at it. Okay? So imagine now, when you call the Suicide Hotline, you know for a fact that there is a 50% chance that the person who picks up is going to be a real human, and a 50% chance that it's going to be an AI which is indistinguishable from a real human. You already know there is a difference, even if every word's the same and you're never able to find out which is which, because that person will never know if they're talking to a real human. Yeah, you understand. It's not just what's heard. It's not just the vocal tones. It's not just the electrical information communicated through the phone. It needs to be a person. You would never find out. Now imagine a world where you know it's possible to do AI simulations of a person's voice to the extent that it cannot be detected or challenged by you. And the Suicide Hotline never says that they use them. But you know that staffing real humans costs money, and there are a finite number of them who can be active at a time. But if you have AI people answering the Suicide Hotline, you have an infinite number of them who are working for free. An objectively superior service. Now, you don't know whether or not they're using those AI-generated voices, but it would make sense if they did, and you would never find out. You understand. There is something special about humans communicating with other humans, or life, with other life. I would not love my cat anywhere near as much if I didn't know that he was capable of some kind of basic primitive affection towards me. If you just put an AI that could imitate Artemis' behavior perfectly with no feeling or thinking, just a mechanical implementation of those behaviors, I wouldn't love him. He would still be cute, sure. But obviously, my affection for Artemis is heavily motivated by the fact that he could dislike me, but he doesn't. He likes me a lot. If the AI is sentient, that's totally fine. That's communication. That's intent. Sentience means you act with intent. I think that's like part of the definition. At least it does in my head. You know, that's one. Anthropocentrism arc. Wait, I've always been anthropocentric. Wait, I am absolutely like a philosophical humanist. That human experience is like the centerpiece of the universe. I didn't play Detroit Become Human, so I can't say socialist at all. But weren't the androids in that game sentient? Yeah, so if they're sentient, then as far as I'm concerned, they're people. At what point can you determine AI to be sentient? I do not know. I don't know. I'm sorry. That is so beyond... I can't define art. I don't know what art is. I think it should require communication of some kind, even if it's not understood communication, but fucking it's art, you know, no one can define that, whatever. I can't define sentience, you know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think anyone knows, you know. What's your opinion on Data from Star Trek making art? Well, Data was sentient. He was a person. Data being a person was like the central theme of his entire character arc through the show. Vaush, for real, how are you different from a Luddite? Dr. Strangelove, how are you different from a person who is in a fucking coma? Can you describe to me the difference in brain activity between yourself and a person in a coma? The Luddites were people who felt shafted as workers because their jobs were being automated with no support system whatsoever to allow them to continue their work and feed their families. I'm talking about the slow eradication of human intercommunicative art production in being replaced by AI algorithms that are used interchangeably and indistinguishably from real human. There's no relationship between these things at all. You just, in your mind, you're thinking like, disagrees with technology. Disagrees with technology. Would you say, would you say that to anyone? Like, under any circumstance? Like the Pentagon, like, develops some new fucking baby skull-seeking drone technology, and I'm like, this might not be good, and you're like, what makes you different from a Luddite? What do you mean? I can have opinions. Also, the Luddites were the good guys. It's Fred Brennan. You don't understand how AI works. I DM'd you, Vaush. Want to debate on this? No, you don't. You don't want to debate me on this. You don't. Here's a bunch of AI algorithm things of your image. God damn. They all look better than my original one. Well, that's life. Is there a difference between having a chatbot girlfriend and having a long-distance girlfriend? The humanity is important. Oh, okay. I thought for a second you were actually asking me as opposed to framing it. Yes, I fully agree. There's a difference between a chatbot girlfriend and a long-distance girlfriend. I couldn't agree more. All I'm saying is that if there was ever a program where people could get, like, their custom AI girlfriends that, like, would respond to you with your messages and sex and everything and sound like a real human, and it was like a program you could get a subscription for, like, holy sweet fuel, holy shit. Wasn't this literally the fucking plot of, I mean, this is so dystopian that I'm literally describing plot elements from, Blade Runner 2042. No, not her. Guys, her, the AI in her was sentient in Blade or 2049, sorry, 2049. The little also her. No, in her the AI was sentient. Didn't someone get married to a chatbot already? Look, all I'm saying is, I want society to stay such that when people get married to chatbots, we all collectively agree that they're mentally ill and probably need help. I don't want that to be normalized, okay? Listen, we've normalized enough. It's time to start shaming again, all right? What about marrying Data? Data is sentient. So if the chatbot was sentient, then it would be okay. Well, yeah. If the chatbot was sentient, then you'd be communicating with an actual with a person. Maybe they would be like trapped within the confines of computer expression, and that is a limitation, but you're still talking with a person. That would be like having a long distance girlfriend.